So, I just wanted to make a quick video on the new exotic mission Encore with its various versions so far, with one more on the way. But before that happens, I have some critiques on just exotic missions in general and their overall structure and how they are becoming very stale. The problem isn't Encore and how it feels, it's more so the structure of unlocking the gun and getting the catalyst and all the perks and whatnot. Now, my intention here is not to bash the mission, but rather provide my critique on why these missions have just become the same thing over and over again. You know, you always do the normal version to get the gun initially. Then you have to go do the expert version, previously the legend version, for people who maybe haven't played in a while. But you have to do the harder difficulty to unlock the other perks, as well as the intrinsic upgrades for the catalyst. And it's the structuring that makes it very unenticing to play. And the lack of innovation, as someone who's done every single Destiny 2 exotic mission, is sad. I mean, of course, these have evolved over time. You know, with Whisper, you did the initial version of it when it first dropped, the normal version, and then you had to do Heroic to get the catalyst. And I think back then it was only a chance to get the catalyst, so that was obviously a bit of a grind, but you know, it was worth it because at the time Whisper was the best heavy weapon in the game, or you know, it was up there if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong. But you know, even then, it's great now, and the mission, when it was re-released, really follows the same structure that we have now. And you know, with Encore, there is like the little collectible as well, which we have those as well in the exotic missions here and there. And you know, the puzzles, I will say, the side puzzles are cool, but once you have all of the puzzles done, there's no need to really do them again, and I kind of wish they added those into the actual mission as opposed to having it just be the catalyst, because most people are only going to do that stuff once. And you know, there really is no reason to go back and do this mission once you've completed it, unless you're someone who just likes to help people run through these missions. And that's, to me, a huge problem, because Bungie spends a lot of time on these missions, and they don't get the replayability they're looking for. Now, I'm not necessarily advocating for this to happen, but I think it's a smart idea. And I'm just throwing it out there, so, you know, crafting is a huge part of the game now. But it would be cool to see some of these exotic missions have randomly rolled weapons drop at the end. And, you know, maybe you can do a expert version and attune a certain exotic weapon to get a higher chance to get that roll, a la the Into the Light Onslaught type of attunement, so that you know maybe let's say it's like a 20% drop rate in normal for attuning, and then it jumps up to like 40% in expert, which is fair because expert is supposed to be twice as hard, or you know, it's in that range. You know, maybe you adjust it if expert maybe isn't as hard as I'm thinking it is, and honestly, it's not that bad. But either way, you know, this would provide a way for people to play through the mission more and more. And you know, the critique I have here on the mission is that the art is good, right? The music and environment, it's something that Bungie always seems to nail, is all of that stuff. This structure, though, has been the MO of exotic missions for a very long time, and you have to shake it up, and this is perhaps one of the better ways to do it. However, this mission does have its failures. I know there's one point where you have to listen to dialogue to wait for a wall to come down in order to advance in the mission, and to me, that's just, I mean, it's like a whole minute of dialogue too. It'd be different if it was like 15 seconds, but it feels like an eternity. And on top of that, there is some text that you can miss if you're not paying attention, in the top left-hand corner on the radar, my Sundaresh will be talking to you throughout the mission, and you can miss that if you're not paying attention or you're fighting ads or whatever. So in my opinion, it would be nice to see that maybe move down to where the subtitles would be, so that takes up more of your attention as a player, because again, most people won't notice that, right? I think this mission is okay, and that's why I wanted to give some thoughts on how it can be better, because it just feels so samey, and there's no innovation in terms of changing the structure of these missions. And you know, I guess really what I'm saying is I would hope at some point they just let you get all of the perks and stuff at the same time, if they don't change it to randomly rolled weapons or perks on the weapon. But you know, that seems unlikely, because we've become accustomed to seeing these weapons craftable, and you know, they are enhanced in a sense as well, but you should be able to enhance the randomly rolled ones also. Hawkmoon is a great example of an exotic quest weapon, or exotic mission weapon, excuse me, that was randomly rolled. And although Harbinger wasn't the greatest mission, it was a good mission, I'll say. It was still worth doing it for Hawkmoon, even though Hawkmoon is not the best exotic hand cannon overall. It's, you know, it's good in PvP, I think, but overall, at least in my opinion, you're not using Hawkmoon over Thorn or, you know, any other legendary hand cannon in PvE, at least. So yeah, that's all I have for that. I just want this game to be better. It can be better. And you know, my previous video talking about the first impressions of this mission and how it was advertised to be the biggest one yet, it does not feel that way. Unless there's some spectacular ending that's coming in the final week, my opinion of this mission will not change. Having to wait this long for it too is just, I mean, the epitome of what has been a very long first episode for Destiny. So, you know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So again, if it is a good finish for this exotic mission, then I might change my opinion. But for now, definitely still a solid meh. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.